Right, the dailies today are full of politics, Azimio politics and more, but I want to start with the Standard, which has steered clear of politics today. They talk about another killing. That's the front page of the Standard today. Brutality. Eric Otieno left home to earn a living but never made it back alive. The 19-year-old boda rider was arrested over what his family says was a minor traffic offense. Days later, they collected him from police custody, battered, in pain and struggling to stand. He died soon afterwards. A post-mortem found he had suffered fatal internal injuries caused by blunt force trauma, making him the latest face of the country's mounting allegations of police brutality and deaths in custody. And they've also included the front page of the Standard from June 30th or June 9th last year, 2025, when it reported the death of Albert Ojwang, who also died in police custody, and the court case is still on. And then this happens again. If you read the story inside, they say that the postmortem found about 2 liters of blood inside his stomach because of the kind of beating he had received from police in custody. They were demanding for about 10,000 bob because they said they arrested him along Thika Road, and the offense was that he made a wrong turning along Thika Super Highway, and so they were demanding for about 10,000 shillings. The family was unable to raise, so they to raise the amount, so they beat him up to that extent.
Police are denying beating him up, though.
Well, what else could have happened to him? Did he beat himself up? Did he have an accident? Like we were told previously with the other case, someone hit his head on the wall until he died.
We know this.
You know, yeah, we've seen this before, and I think it's a trend, and people are not learning. They can see their colleagues on the dock answering to charges of murder in a similar case. Then you go ahead and do something similar. Do they ever learn?
Probably they know nothing will be done to them. They'll just appear in the dock and then that's it.
Very unfortunate. He's a young man just trying to fend for his family, 19 years old. You just cut off someone's life like that, senselessly. And then you expect that you're going to live your life comfortably going forward. Hata kama utaachiliwa na mkono ya justice, the long arm of the law, even if it doesn't catch up with you, something will catch up with you, even if it's karma. You just don't take someone's life like that. So that's the main story on the front page of the Standard. Other quick stories inside pages, of course, the music festivals. Nationals Kenya Music Festival enters day 3 at the Kibabii University. Some young learners are showcasing leadership and rich cultures. They have a picture there of pupils from Rockside Academy rehearsing a Gusii dance, Obokano, like in Moms, our cameraman. Meanwhile, lecturers have rejected a PSC plan to slash retirement age by as much as 15 years. You know, lecturers say that because they're teaching, they should be allowed to teach up until, I think even professors teach up until the age of 75. Anyway, there's a very small story here on page 3. I don't know why. There's a armed men have rescued a SIM card fraud suspect who was being ferried from Bomet. Unajua vijana wa Bomet wanakuanga na mambo mingi sana. He had been arrested, was being taken to Nairobi. Somewhere along the road, 2 gunmen appeared and they commandeered the police vehicle. Na wakashika huyo jamaa wakapotea. Just like that. Hao vijana wa SIM fraud wamekuwa very daring. And matters to do with breastfeeding continuing in the pages huko ndani. Then that story about Azimio comes inside pages. Page 4, Azimio seeks to unite opposition as president entices village elders. Yes, the president unveiled the 3,000 monthly stipend for 106,000 village elders. If your grandfather or grandmother is not receiving this, chunga sana, they should be receiving 3,000 shillings per month. Yes, 106,000 village elders are receiving. Why shouldn't your grandparents receive the same?
From what age?
Yeah.
Unajua 40 years old.
Aye, surely.
Yes.
Surely. I know it's possible, but amesema elders, so ajasema to grandparents. They should be elders. Yesterday, the president, anasema Ruto returns to the pulpit as 2027 top race gathers pace. But I remember Gen Zs were very unhappy with how the church was being used for politics, not just by the president, but by everyone. And they pushed for a stop to the same. But Politicians have swiftly gone back to the same. And the president yesterday hosted members of the Friends Church, they call themselves the Quakers, at State House, Nairobi. Delegations of churches. He has previously hosted a Corino. And will the trend continue going forward? Those are politics and, of course, the drama that was in court yesterday. I'm told that the Bukuruini MP, John Kagusha, who had been arrested for incitement and intimidation, he walked out of court without being released.
And came back.
He just decided, wameniachilia, and he walked out.
Labda hakuwa anajua.
The judge alikuwa amekasirika sana. Akaongeza hata ile bail alikuwa amempatia, ilikuwa kidogo, akaongeza ikafika I think $500,000. Mchezo. How do you just walk out of court? Yeah. All right. So those are the main stories here. On the kuna story nyingi. Sifuna political test turning his rise into a national movement, and I think we've been missing Sifuna from the front pages for a while now, for a week or so. What's happening to Sifuna? Back page, the FIFA drama. Infantino, FIFA boss who sees no evil, hears no evil, and speaks no evil. The FIFA president, he had another plan to actually privatize the World Cup. I don't know why. And everyone, kila mtu anamuruka, including us and Wenger, tutaona kwingine. So he's actually a man in the spotlight, Gianni Infantino. Many people opposed to his proposed privatization of the World Cup. And so, will he survive? Many people who've been at the helm of FIFA, by the way, wanatoka kwa shida sana. Sepp Blatter, perhaps the most famous FIFA president, also left in a cloud of controversy. Will Gianni Infantino do the same? That is a standard today.
Tuangalie gazeti la Taifa Leo. Uhuru atikisa upinzani. Hiyo ndio habari kuu katika ukurasa wa mbele ya gazeti hili, kwamba mpango wa rais mstaafu Uhuru Kenyatta wa kufufua muungano wa Azimio la Umoja wa Kenya kabla ya uchaguzi mkuu wa mwaka wa 2027 umepingwa vikali na baadhi ya vyama vya upinzani, hali inayotishia kuvuruga juhudi za kuunganisha mrengo huo kumkabili Rais William Ruto mwaka ujao. Linda Mwananchi na DCP walioalikwa kujiunga na Azimio wasema wanajivumisha kwanza. Right, that is a story captured on page 2. And we'll be taking a look at it in another newspaper as well. Vidokezo zaidi, maprofesa wa maono ya Rais Ruto, wasomi waandaa mpango mpya wa kustawi utakaoongoza Kenya baada ya Vision 2030. At the center of this is Kisumu Governor, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. Uhuru naye amezea kiti cha Kindiki. Baada ya Oparanya kupendekezwa, kinara wa ODM asema atosha kuwa naibu rais. Unajua sijaona party confused kama hii ODM.
Umewaita confused.
Who are we fronting for the deputy president seat? Who? Is it Oparanya? Is it party leader? Is it...
And then the statement keeps changing. They insist they want a presidential candidate. But when the party leader comes, he always changes the script somewhat. So sasa amesema, no, we don't want the president. Mimi nataka deputy.
Walisema party leader anaitwaje, presidential candidate ni Rais William Ruto is the presidential candidate. Lakini sasa kuna watu wawili wanamezea hichi kiti.
Si wawili, ni wengi. Kuna Wycliffe Oparanya kutoka Western, kuna Gladys Wanga from Nyanza, kuna Joho from...
Gladys amesema anataka kweli ama ni watu wanamwambia
party leader sasa anataka.
Zelensky afuta balozi wake USA, ni masuala ya mambo ya nje. Rais wa Ukraine atimua balozi wakati anaendelea kufanya mabadiliko serikalini. Tukirejea humu nchini kule juu, Gachagua awasha moto mlimani. Kauli ya kiongozi wa DCP eti vyama vivunjwe na kujiunga na chama chake imekosolewa vikali na viongozi kutoka Mlima Kenya Mashariki. Ni habari katika ukurasa wa pili. Na hiyo habari ya Infantino, Wenger alivyopinga Infantino, ni habari katika ukurasa wa 20 Taifa Leo.
All right. From Taifa Leo tuangazie dadake anaitwa Daily Nation. Why Uhuru's Azimio plan faces resistance. That's the main story there. A focus on the latest political moves. They say there's a fallout. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta's concerted push to revive the Azimio coalition has triggered an implosion and rebellion within the wider opposition, with critics alleging a scheme to install Kalonzo Musyoka as its presidential flag bearer. And it would appear, it feels like a former president has come and hijacked the opposition discussion, because they are always talking about the united alternative government, and then Azimio just shows up and says, hey, kila mtu aingie kwa igari sasa. And guys are like, okay, why? Remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta is a Jubilee Party leader.
Yeah.
He has a preferred presidential candidate from his party, Fred Matiang'i. Now, what will happen to Azimio? Will he change his plan? What happens to DCP, which is very eager to build its base? Will they now abandon that and now focus on Azimio? I highly doubt. So, Rigathi Gachagua, they've quoted a number of leaders here. Rigathi Gachagua says, don't imagine an endorsement from us. We are struggling day and night mobilizing the public. And that's true. He's been very keen on building his party. Kalonzo Musyoka was already, he's the Azimio leader, says we continue our engagement, strengthening the unity of the opposition to deliver the Kenya that our people deserve. Do you feel like they're causing confusion? Like now you're confused, you don't know, okay, at least on the other side of the broad-based arrangement, we know President William Ruto is there running for presidency, ODM is there backing him up, and there's no confusion. Now on this other side, it's all over. They don't have a candidate, now they're introducing a new vehicle that was there before. And, okay, what is the place of Uhuru Kenyatta in this? Yeah. So Kenyatta on Monday chaired a meeting that resolved to expand the coalition's membership. And that story is covered on page 4. Meanwhile, Gachagua rattles Mount Kenya leaders. Leaders rejected suggestion that Mr. Gachagua has been mandated to speak on behalf of the entire region. Yeah. Ex-DP push for Mount Kenya parties to fold into DCP sparks backlash as allies warn against move to dominate region's politics. Now they've introduced something new. These parties are saying, no, they're not going to collapse. Hapo sasa wameleta, to be honest, they've stirred the waters. Other quick highlights on the front page. County's health crisis deepens as striking medics dig in. And this is a story, I don't know why, we've just been seeing it on the inside pages. Quite a number of nurses, represented by the Union of Nurses and Midwives, are on strike. Different counties, all of them hoping that their governors will honor some CBAs and some arrangements. Now they're planning to walk and march to the Council of Governors offices here in Nairobi to demand implementation of collective bargaining agreements, among other grievances. That story, you can read it in the inside pages. Inside Mchele Queen's 2-year reign of terror, this lady who was arrested after allegedly causing the death of a man here in Nairobi. Now they're still following her. She looks very confident. The suspect, Alice Wambugu Mwangi. The story is on page 3. From Nairobi to Karatina, the fast and loose life of Mchele Queen wa Mugo. Wakisema wa Mugo. Ule wa Mugo namjua ni mkuu huku. So those are the main stories there on the front page. KTDA paid Farm 322 million shillings for an expired tender. That's a story on page 8. And 7 billion shilling NEC budget crisis rocks exam preparations. Remember, we're just on a break, anticipating the beginning of the third academic term this year and the national exams across board. NEC says they have a crisis of 7 billion shillings. National music festivals covered on page 2. It's something I would love to have attended, but anyway. Sawa tu inaendelea pale Kibabii University, Western Kenya. Sifuna is in the inside pages. Why fate of Linda Mwananchi lies in the hands of the registrar of political parties. They initially were told that the Linda Mwananchi name cannot be used as a name for their party, but they are hoping that could change. So anangoja. Right. Tuende kule nyuma. Wairia's hospital current home to be auctioned over loan. That's a story on page 12. This is a story with regard to former governor of Murang'a. Assets belonging to former Murang'a governor Mwangi Wairia are set to go under the hammer later this month after he allegedly defaulted on an undisclosed loan, piling further pressure on the politician who's also battling a 542.6 million graft case. Watu wanakuanga na mambo kweli. On the back page, Starlet's disastrous outing, outclassed or set up to fail? That's a question they're asking. It's an analysis of what happened to the Starlets at the WAFCON tournament in Morocco, where they lost 4-0 to Morocco, 1-0 to Senegal, and 2-0 to Algeria. Sasa wanarudi nyumbani. And that's the Daily Nation.
All right, tuangalie gazeti la People Daily. Ruto governing or campaigning? It's a question they ask on page 4 and 5. They say from endless regional tours and church appearances to project launches and political messaging, Kenya appears locked in a permanent campaign 1 year before the election. Once again, this story is on page 4 and 5. 1 year before election, this started even before.
I think they've been campaigning.
Kitambo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swali
Tuko na jibu.
Tuko na jibu tayari.
It's on page 4 and 5. You can read more about it. On the top strip, why the Mount Kenya split calls have divided leaders ahead of 2027. That's another story on page 2. Inside ODM's fresh demands under the broad-based government on page 6, and party leader is there. And sema pia ya anatosha kuwa deputy president.
Exactly.
The silent cry why Kenyan youth are the saddest in Africa. It's on page 8. Hebu tuangalie why the Kenyan youth are the saddest in Africa. It's taking time to open, but this story is on page 8. Right. Economy, not politics, is what interests Kenyan youth. So they say that young Kenyans want jobs and a vibrant economy and are less interested in politics, according to a new survey. The Africa Youth Survey 2026 also finds that young people are uncertain about the future of the country and are pessimistic about the prospects in a country where job creation is slow and financial pressures abound. Yeah, so Kenyans want... Yeah.
That Kenya was ranked last in that survey among 16 African countries in confidence about economic prospects and future employment opportunities among people aged 18 to 24.
Yeah.
So we're ranking very poorly. And 79%, that's almost 8% of Kenyan youth believe the country's economy is headed in the wrong direction. Yeah. That's why they're sad.
Yeah. Kenya wanataka kazi.
Are you sad, Anne?
Well, 18 to 24.
Oh.
18 to 24.
Well, you're not sad. You're happy.
Well,
at least you have a job.
At least?
You have a job.
At least,
your economic
yes,
prospects are looking good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the People Daily.
From the People Daily, let's take a look at the Star. Interpol, Kenyans lost 500 million shillings in SIM swap fraud. Unasikia ile story tuliongea jamaa wa SIM swap amehepa. Ameshikwa na polisi na akahepa.
Yeah.
Sasa, this is how much they lost. So this is a real problem on pages 4 and 5. Kuna wale vijana wanaitwa smart boys. Yeah? Sharp boys, yeah, nimeambiwa ni sharp boys. Unajua nakuanga nje hizi vitu. Sharp boys. So Kenyan SIM swap crisis, a 327% increase in SIM swap fraud reported in 2025. Fraudulent SIM cards issued, 123,000 plus. Yeah? Estimated amount drained from mobile wallets. Hata afadhali ukaange bila pesa kwa hiyo mobile wallet. Sababu 3.8 million US dollars. Yeah? Value of mobile phone wallets is about 490 million Kenya shillings. Yeah. Hey, anyway, High Court has cleared the way for M-Pesa fraud suit against Safaricom because they believe, as a main player in the industry, they should have better security measures. Back page, sharp and ready, mostly about local sports, Shabana and Sport Pesa League. That's the Star, fresh, independent, different. Grab yourself a copy of this paper. All
right, very quickly, Business Daily. Homes and land price boom in Nairobi outskirts ends. Land costs increase outside the city, slows to 80-year low. And house prices in satellite towns fall by 0.75%. This is a decades-long property boom on the outskirts of Nairobi, including Kiambu, Kitengele and Ngong, is coming to an end as home prices drop and land costs soften. That's the story on page 2. How Kenyans lost 491 million shillings and cryptos via SIM card theft. Yes, so Business Daily is also shining a spotlight on that Kenyans lost that amount in cryptocurrency after cyber criminals hijacked victims' mobile phone numbers in SIM swap fraud. That's on page 2. On the ticker, Kenya knocked off Africa's startup funding to top sports. Kenya Railway eyes a bigger piece of the Korea market pie, and crop livestock insurance uptake doubles to 2 billion shillings. That's the Business Daily.
All right, from the Kenyan dailies, let's cross over into Uganda. And before we even take a look at the Daily Monitor, kama kawaida New Vision huwa wanachelewa, lakini tayari wako nayo. So we do not have it on the screen. But the New Vision talks about 31 interdicted in corruption crackdown. These are government officials, 2 arrested in Mbarara, 11 on the run as probe reaches 6th district. So corruption in within government circles in Uganda, also big news, and that's the New Vision. Back to the Daily Monitor, a copy of which we do have. You take a look at the front page of the Daily Monitor. Government locks out offline suppliers. Yeah. There's a shift, just like in Kenya, to the electronic government procurement, EGP 2.0 platform, which is expected to eliminate manual paper-based procurement, reduce procurement timelines, and curb opportunities for corruption by moving the entire process online. This is exactly what has happened in Kenya. I think we are a step ahead of that. There was another very tragic accident involving a matatu there. 14 people have died in Uganda, 4 have been injured in a night accident. This along the Kampala-Masaka highway on Monday night. Yes, so that is as far as Uganda news is concerned. We cross over to Tanzania. We start off with the Citizen. Soaring profits raise customer costs concern. Tanzania's banking sector has reached a new profitability milestone, but the surge in earnings is renewing debate over whether stronger bank balance sheets are translating into more affordable financial services for customers. It is true. Even in Kenya, banks always report profits, but does it mean that we have money? Yeah? Banks are always reporting profits, even when you complain. Yeah. Gazeti la Mwananchi. Na pale kabla hata nisome habari kuu pale kwenye ukurasa wa mbele, kuna habari ambayo imepewa kipaumbele pale juu wa gazeti la Mwananchi, inaitwa the top strip, kitanzi cha Ruto uchaguzi wa mwaka ujao. Wameweka picha ya watu wengi ambao wanawania urais hapa Kenya. Kuna President Ruto, Kalonzo, picha hata aliyekuwa rais Uhuru Kenyatta, Martha Karua, Rigathi Gachagua, Fred Matiang'i, hata Charity Ngilu wako pale. Kitanzi cha Ruto uchaguzi wa mwaka ujao. Habari yenyewe, habari kamili kwenye ukurasa wa 12 na 13 kule Tanzania. They are really focusing on Kenya. I've never seen this kind of focus on what's happening across the border. Okay, fine. In Uganda, which was the last to have elections, we just reported he has won. That's it. Lakini habari kuu pale kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa Mwananchi wanasema sababu 3 za ondoa wanafunzi vyuoni. Ni kwa mujibu wa ripoti za TCU. Mbali na tatizo la kufeli linaloongoza, changamoto za kiuchumi na ukosefu wa matumaini za ajira vyatajwa. Same problem as in Kenya. Economic issues, lack of any hope in the future. So they're also sad, just like Kenyan youth. Hizo ndizo habari ambazo ziko kwenye kurasa za mbele magazeti ya hapa nchini na pia kanda ya Afrika Mashariki. Turejelee nyumbani tuangazie karakacha sasa.
Let's start with the one in the Daily Nation.